Hi, everybody. I'm Kenneth Adams, president of LaGuardia Community College. We've got a really interesting discussion today with three of our colleagues from the LaGuardia Community College Wellness Center. The Wellness Center is one of our most important functions or facilities at the college for supporting our students. And now more than ever, in these very challenging times because of COVID, our colleagues in the Wellness Center have been working overtime to meet the needs, the mental health needs, the counseling needs of our students. So we're going to meet three very important members of the team. Frank Laterra-Bellino, who is the director of the Wellness Center, Stacy Chen, and Dr. Shantae Bassett. I'll tell you a little bit about each one of them, ask them some questions, and then get them to explain to you all of the incredible things they do with their colleagues to help our students at the LaGuardia Community College Wellness Center. Frank is our director, as I mentioned. He is actually a CUNY alumnus in that he prepared for his career as a licensed mental health counselor at Hunter College after having done his undergraduate work at NYU. Stacy Chen is also a licensed mental health counselor. Stacy started out at Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, continued her studies here in New York City, and about 6 years ago joined our LaGuardia team in the Wellness Center. And again, she's a licensed mental health counselor full-time working with our students at LaGuardia. Shantae Bassett, Dr. Shantae Bassett is the psychologist of the Wellness Center. And she also is a proud CUNY alumna in that she went to John Jay and then LIU, where she got both her master's degrees and her doctorate at the CW Post campus of LIU. So again, we've got a conversation here with Stacy, Shantae, and Frank about the Wellness Center. Let me throw it to you, Frank, to start off. Can you just give us a sense of the staffing of the center these days? I know there have been some budget cuts. How are you set up? And just give us a sense of the structure.
Sure, and thank you for having us today. So we currently have 6 part-time staff. We were fortunate to receive CARES funding back in December to hire these 6 clinicians. Along with the 6 part-time staff, we have 8 full-time staff. And in addition, we have support staff as well, giving us a total of 20 staff. So we currently have a sizable staff to support our students. And we have a variety of staffers who are psychologists, social workers, licensed mental health counselors. In addition, I should also mention that we have, through our graduate internship program, a graduate level intern from Brooklyn College.
Shantae, if I'm correct, you oversee the graduate level program, don't you? And you also, I think, have been at LaGuardia for about 6 years. So tell us about your work as a psychologist in the group.
Again, thank you for having us. Basically, we make sure that we interview the best of the best students and bring them in so that they can be the best of the best for our LaGuardia students. We've had as many as I think 21 graduate interns at a time, and now we only have 1. Given the circumstances that we're in the midst of the pandemic, having to work 100% remotely, et cetera. But we really bring the interns in so that they are one of our colleagues. Of course, they're getting the training and the supervision that they need, but by the end of the year, they are able to handle maybe some complex cases with the help of the clinical staff. The phase that we're in now has really spoken to our ability to pivot, because we not only had to pivot how we provide remote services for our students, but also we had to train a budding clinician in the midst of a pandemic as well.
Stacy, you've been, as we said, at LaGuardia 6 years. I'm curious to know 2 things. How do students find you? Like, how do they come to the Wellness Center in the first place? And when they do, what services can you provide?
Well, some students come to us self-referred, meaning that they come on their own initiative voluntarily. Actually, all of our services are voluntary. But we have a lot of staff and faculty referring to us, and it really helps to have those partnerships on campus because often it's faculty and staff at the front lines in other departments who partner with us and refer students and see the need first. Those are some ways that students come to us. And when they do, one of the primary services we have is individual mental health counseling, where we meet with students one-on-one about 45 minutes a week and provide that individual care. We also have groups and workshops, as well as alternative wellness classes. So there are really a variety of services that we provide that students, as well as staff and faculty, can engage in.
Frank, I'm curious, and I know a lot of our viewers are, it's got to be really tough, really challenging for you and the team to deal with all the added kind of stress and anxiety that was caused or has been caused by COVID. Tell us about that.
Just like everyone else, this past year has been difficult, and we're grateful, to be healthy and to have jobs. But we've really focused our efforts on making mental health services accessible to our students. So when we went remote back in March, our focus was on that, and we were brainstorming ways to stay connected with students. So we pivoted pretty quickly, I would say, and the team came together, as Shantae mentioned earlier. We really focused our efforts on engaging with our students right away. So we put forth a great effort to focus on outreach specifically. Outreach meaning offering workshops, offering different types of events, groups to our students. We made it a point to also reach out to our faculty and staff to inform them about how best to reach us. As Stacy mentioned earlier, we transitioned to telemental health services, which means we're still offering individual counseling, but through, in this case, Zoom or by phone. So I'd say over the past year, we've slowly and steadily improved our services. And I feel like we're well connected now with our students. They know how to reach us. Our faculty and staff know how to connect with us in the event that there's a crisis that they're witnessing. If there's a student that they believe may be experiencing depression or anxiety, they're able to connect more easily as opposed to the beginning of the pandemic.
Shantae, is there something that you have seen as a result of COVID with our students, either a type of trauma or anxiety or something have you seen something new, and what's that like?
I don't know that I'd say it's new, but anxiety is at an all-time high. And we know that, LaGuardia is kind of a microcosm of what's going on in Queens, in New York, in the world. What I'm seeing is that a lot of students are coming in with symptoms of anxiety, but they don't realize it. So, it's nothing that they've experienced before. So they're just like, am I going crazy? Like, students have actually come in and said that, and they were concerned. And as clinicians, it's really important for us to normalize the experience, because they don't see it as anxiety due to COVID, due to, not being on campus, things of that nature. They just see it's a change in me. I'm unable to sleep. I'm not eating the same way. So it's really important for us to provide the psychoeducation and also normalize what they're experiencing. But a lot of students are presenting with anxious symptoms and don't even realize it.
Stacy, you mentioned the variety of services the Wellness Center offers to our students, and you talked about groups. I think you guys have some yoga programs going on, a whole range of things. But I've also heard that recently, in the wake of these terrible anti-Asian bias attacks around the country, and mindful of the anxiety that could cause for many of our Asian American students and Asian students, that you've got some new programs going on to address the anxiety, the needs of those students. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was really timely. Even before the incident in Georgia, we had already planned to offer an Asian American wellness group. You may know that this is a group that's a community that's been really affected during this pandemic by the racism and violence that we've seen even in our own city here in New York. This group is a new offering for students who may want to process and talk about their experiences with other Asian Americans. And in addition to this, Student Affairs is also doing an event that will address the anti-aging violence, and it's in partnership with other faculty and staff in CUNY, as well as with our dean.
Thank you. Frank, we're starting to make plans for returning to campus in the fall. And let's hope we all get our vaccines and that these variants subside and that the public health conditions enable us to get as many of our classes and programs and services back, into in-person mode as we can, come the fall. So curious, what do you think about coming back? What's the right mix of doing your work online versus doing it in person?
We're in a different place in the world now, where we've seen over this past year the impact and effectiveness of telemental health services. So in other words, offering counseling through Zoom is working, and in some cases it's making it easier to connect with students. So I think there's a lot of benefits, and there's a lot we've learned about how to provide services to students. Return back to campus again, once the safety protocols are in place. I think we're going to have to consider a system where some of the staff remain working from home while others go into the office. And I know there are some of our staff who are eager to get back on campus, some who are a little bit more reluctant. So I think, there's an opportunity to make everyone happy.
That's great. That's really good. As we wrap up, let's check in with the three of you on things that are important for folks to know about the Wellness Center that perhaps we haven't had time to explore yet. Shantae, I'll start with you. What's something about the Wellness Center you think folks really need to know?
We are more than just individual counseling. We're more than just therapy. So some people think wellness center, I have to sit across the room from someone and tell them all of my problems, but that's not the only service that we provide. We have individual counseling as well as group counseling, but we also have our alternative wellness classes. And what they are essentially are alternative approaches to wellness. So we have a group called Game Break where students come and play games. We've had an art group in the past. We have yoga, Tai Chi, meditation. So these are all ways that students can manage their mental health, manage their stress, anxiety, etc., in different ways. So it's not just the one-to-one that, the media would have us think, therapy is. One thing that we haven't mentioned is that all of our services are free of charge. Some students are reluctant to come to the Wellness Center to solicit mental health services because they think they might have to pay, there might be a copay, they don't have sufficient insurance, but all of the services that we offer, individual counseling, group counseling, etc., they are all free of charge.
Stacy, what's on your mind? What do people need to know about the Wellness Center?
I really want students to know that it's totally okay and good to reach out for help. When there's a physical health issue, we have no hesitation about going to the doctor. But when there's a mental health issue, many of our students have more negative ideas around coming for counseling or therapy. And often this comes from society or families. And I just want students to know that we all struggle at times and that it's totally okay and good to reach out, and that we're here to support students in a non-judgmental way, and that they don't have to go it alone. And if you take care of your mental and emotional health now, you're actually going to be more successful in life, including in your academics and in your career going forward.
Frank, you're up next, my friend. Tell us about something, that's special about the Wellness Center that folks might not know.
The Wellness Center pursued accreditation back in 2019 through the International Accreditation of Counseling Services. We went through a very rigorous process to complete the assessment piece of the accreditation, and after 1 year, we did in fact receive accreditation. So why is this important? In keeping with best standards with the accrediting body, we now go through a rigorous process every year to make sure that we keep our accreditation. And I should mention that we are one of 2 counseling centers within CUNY who holds this accreditation. So we're very proud, and we want to make sure that we provide quality care to our students. I also want to highlight the importance of our relationship with faculty in particular. So as we know, our faculty are in the classroom. They're the ones who are engaging with our students. And they're also the ones who observe when there are mental health concerns to be aware of. And so I want to mention that partnership. I also want to mention that we offer trainings to our faculty. So we've in the past offered mental health first aid training, a program that we created called Mental Health 101. And these programs are created to help equip faculty and staff to better engage with students who are struggling with mental health concerns, and then of course, how to properly support and refer them to our wellness center.
I wish we had more time today to continue this discussion. Really interesting, and it's great to hear the things that the three of you with your colleagues in the Wellness Center that you're doing for our LaGuardia students, especially during these challenging times because of COVID. Also great to hear the degree to which you've succeeded at moving all your services online, right, and doing your work remotely. But still, we look forward to seeing you back on campus as soon as that is possible. I want to remind everybody, all viewers of this video, that if anyone knows of students or you're talking or working with students that are interested in learning more about the services of the Wellness Center, all you have to do is email the Wellness Center or call their main number, and Frank or someone from his team will get in touch with you, and they can describe all the incredible services they provide. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.